Let's get more on the train attack in Pakistan, where dozens of people were killed and more were taken hostage. The attack was orchestrated by the Balochistan Liberation Army, that's been designated a terrorist group by Pakistan and even the US. Adnan Aamir is a journalist with Nikkei Asia, and he joins me now from Islamabad. Adnan, good to have you with us on the program this evening. Now, this attack and the siege that followed has come to an end. Can you take us through the aftermath of this deadly incident?
Yes, so I think the people in Balochistan in Pakistan, they are still reeling from the effects of this deadly incident. And it was the first of its kind of attack in Pakistan that any insurgent group has taken over a complete train. And there were more than 400 passengers, and like most of them have been released and they have reached this to safety in Quetta. But it was very shocking the way the footages that played on television in Pakistan. And this incident has once again reignited the debate that the Balochistan is burning and the conflict that is going out of hands of the Pakistani state. And yesterday, the Pakistani army spokesperson, DGISPR, said that after this attack, the rules of game have changed. This implies that now army will use more force and they will deal the issue with a tougher and stricter approach.
Yes, and before we get more into what's going to happen, can you just remind us again who the Balochistan Liberation Army are and what are their goals?
Yeah, so Baloch Liberation Army is the largest Baloch separatist outfit. It has been operating in Balochistan since early 2000, and the goal of BLA is to carve out a separate homeland for Baloch people, an independent Balochistan. They are fighting a separatist insurgency against state of Pakistan for more than 2 decades, and they target the Pakistani security personnel and different elements of the state. And they basically say the basic idea is that they say that the people of the Baloch people, they are deprived of their rights, they are deprived of their resources, and they are not allowed to elect their representatives. So the only solution out of all this problem is a separate homeland for them. Now it's a matter of debate how many people in Pakistan support them, but they have gained a lot of traction lately with the very intense activities that they are carrying out and all these attacks, and the train hijacking is just an example.
Yes, and what was the motive behind targeting this train? Why this particular strategy?
Yeah, so I think there are 2 main motives. First of all, they are going after the security personnel. Any security personnel of Pakistani state is a target for them. So a lot of off-duty security personnel were traveling in this train from Quetta to their hometowns up north in Pakistan. So number one, they targeted those security personnel, and secondly, they want to make news. They want to carry out such attacks that make news on global level, so that there is a recognition of their problem at international level. And I think they achieved both these goals, because even now we are talking about this, the ABC is talking about this, and world media all over is talking about this. So that was also their game, that they wanted attention at global level.
Yes, and you were speaking earlier about the fact that this was the first time that the BLA was able to take over an entire train. Like, this was the first time they're launching such an attack. What does this tell us about the BLA's abilities and the resourcing that they've got?
Yeah, I think this suggests that BLA has got massive increase in recruitment. They are getting many recruits, and that's why they are able to deploy them to carry out daring acts like this, because as per the eyewitness reports, there were more than 50, some say around 100 militants which took over the train, and then some of them left. But they have a lot of manpower, and that's the main reason for their intensity in their attacks. They are also getting material support from some adversaries of Pakistan, but primarily the spike in their activities has to do with the recruitment that they are getting.
Yes, and one of the adversaries you're talking about, Pakistan's government has in the past said that this group has links and has been resourced in some way by India. What truth is there to that?
Well, I think even today the Pakistani government said that in the past India has been supporting this group, but for this particular attack they blame Afghanistan. They say that the government has traced a call between the insurgents who were taking the train hostage and their handlers, which were based in Afghanistan. But as far as Indian involvement is concerned, Pakistan has repeatedly said that India has been involved here. They have been funding the Baloch militants. And Pakistan also arrested a former Indian intelligence officer, Kulbhushan Yadav, and he's still under custody of Pakistan government. So giving the example of Kulbhushan, Pakistan say that's a living proof that is India is involved in fomenting trouble in Balochistan.
Yes, and as you mentioned earlier, the Pakistani government says it's a whole new game now in terms of how they want to deal with the Baloch Liberation Army. But why has it been so difficult for Pakistani forces to battle these insurgents?
Well, because it has to do with the terrain of Balochistan. The terrain is very rugged. The mountains are very tall. They are very inhospitable. They are very hard to pass by. And the local people who live in those areas, they can navigate them very easily. So it's easier for the BLA militants to navigate those mountains as compared to the security forces. But at the same time, Pakistan is also resource constrained. It is already dealing with the Pakistani Taliban militancy in the north, and then it has to provide security to the Chinese interests. And then the Pakistan is also cash strapped, that there is a problem of finances. So I think given that, it's a huge challenge for the government to deploy more security forces and more resources to battle these insurgents.
Yes, I was going to ask how complicated this has become for Pakistan because of those massive investments coming from China in that part of Pakistan with the seaport and also the new airport in Gwadar.
Yeah, I think this is a matter of concern for China for sure. And just a week earlier, BLA along with other groups announced that now they will form a unified army called Baloch National Army, and the Chinese investment will be the primary target of those of that army. So I think these Baloch militants, they are hell bent on targeting China and Chinese investment. So given the situation here, I don't think that there is any chance for the success of this Chinese project, and newer Chinese projects in Balochistan at least are out of question at the moment.
Okay, Adnan Aamir, thanks very much for giving us your insights on what's happening in Balochistan. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.